living and working in San Francisco, but I would attend the Art Institute there. I never really formally attended. I would show up. I never could figure out how to make a living and they go to school at the same time. So I was always working in my studio, and I had a sign business back then that I would be producing signs and supporting myself, and I would, I'd go to all the galleries and attend the Art Institute, but I never really went to any formal school or had any formal training in that sense. I was, working with these artists and meeting these great dealers, but it was all with my sign business. It was all with my day job. And it was really a dealer, Jack Tilton, who in New York sort of prodded me to do text work and knew that I did sign work. He kept prodding me, wanting me to do this. And Bruce Pearson at one time had a group show and invited me to be in the show. And I really did it for Jack Tilton in mind. So all the text read, "What's it to you, Jack? You don't know Jack. Hit the road, Jack." All these idioms that I wanted to play off of that idea of doing text and working, in context with Jack Tilton. So I did this to sort of prove him wrong, but after I hung the piece, he really proved me wrong. I really fell in love with the idea of doing this text and working with appropriated language. 5 years living in Brooklyn, that I realized the frustration of trying to show the work. So I started this whole do-it-yourself kind of approach. I started my own gallery space, which was more of a glorified studio visit idea. It was an idea where I'd open up my own studio and hang artists' work on weekends, just to bring the artists in, because Williamsburg at that time was really developing as a community of artists. I started it with just the idea in mind of having artists come in and put up shows and to have a dialogue, and without the intention of selling work or representing work. But as soon as I really started, we started getting a lot of attention suddenly as a space to show work. As time went on, I would sell work, and I was working during the day trying to paint signs and work for other artists to make a living. Then I had to transition out of working and working at the gallery, where the gallery would start paying for itself. So that was a hard transition, but we finally got that working. And then I still didn't represent any artists at that time. It was just about a show space. And as time went on, we were doing more and more work with the artists, and realized that we were doing as much as any other gallery was doing, really, in representation. So we started asking the artists if they wanted to be represented, and as time went on, now we're up to we have maybe 27 different artists that we represent. Well, it really helps to be naive about some things sometimes. Because when we go into these things, we really are going into it out of just pure sort of interest and desire to get it done, and the costs sometimes are secondary. I mean, it's always the back of your head, but costs do come into focus while you're doing it. But some of it's mostly about just help and getting help, and people do volunteer, and sometimes we ask collectors to invest some money into it. So we do ask people that might be involved to help out sometimes that way. I mean, we do have, social media, with the gallery. I don't really do all Twitter and all that stuff. I'm on email primarily, just because that's what we do. We send a lot of information out and images and things like that. But the best thing is just to go to the site and follow what we're doing on the site. We have insurance for the gallery. We do have we do state on the insurance form that we might not be able to cover it fully, and that we'll do our best. But we do have insurance for the gallery. People are always worried sometimes when how people handle the work, but we're not a shoe store or something. We're a gallery where people come in and have a sensibility of what they're coming in to see, and they do treat the work with respect. And we're there too to some oversight the situation. The thing that really bothers me about the art world, in a greater sense, is that it seems like a very class-oriented situation. People seem to think you have to have a lot of money to be a collector, and you have to be from a certain class to collect work. and I think it's the wrong way to approach it. I think everyone should be collecting work. Artists should be collecting work. Um, Everyone should have that opportunity, but the way things are, it seems very limiting for people. People feel um, they're isolated from contemporary work. So there's a lot of good about fairs, and there's a lot of bad that I see. And sometimes I wish there were more biennial sort of related, or the pace was a little less stressful. Um, so we'll see what happens. I mean, there's things are growing all the time. There's fairs everywhere, there's biennials everywhere. So as long as the galleries can survive this barrage of art fair activity, I think it'll work. But it has put a lot of stress on the whole framework. I mean, I guess I'm saying I'm not a big fan of the art fair, but as an artist, I mean, I know a lot of artists that don't go to them because they just hate to see their work presented in such a modified sort of venue, and uh, and the work, um, is, is somewhat cheapened that way in a lot of. I always hate when success depends on sales. The success in a lot of artists uh, is based on just reviews and critical acclaim, and many times that doesn't equate to monetary sort of ends. And art fairs primarily equate to how much money you make. It's frustrating. You have to take risks to have any credibility to yourself and for the critical world out there. You have to take chances.